Hey, 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 making sure you guys can hear me. We're getting
I
ready.
can hear you.
All right. That will make it a good call. All right.
Always.
All right. We're just going to give everybody a couple minutes to jump in. So, actually, if you guys are on early and there's anything you want to take advantage of this extra timed little bonus couple minutes for being here early, if you have anything specific going on in the market, your area, anything you want to ask me ahead of time that would be suitable on a call like this. What's going good for you? If you want to share anything good happening. How's your market? Is it going good? Is it tight? Is it scary? Got bashful people today. I am going to share my screen real quick and see if you guys make sure we can show the right screen. So just kind of give me some feedback if you are seeing my screen. Let me see here. Screen share. So if I were going to share, I think I might want to move this box over to a different screen. Get the technical stuff out of the way here while we're waiting for everybody to log in. All right, so that is screen one. And so if I do that, share. All right, are you guys seeing the 212 degrees thing?
Got it. Yep.
Sweet.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. Now, if I can bring it back. All right, cool. Well, we're going to go ahead and kick it off. And guys, this really is, and I say guys, I'm the Midwest guy, so I know we got everybody from everywhere. Ladies, I know you're not a guy, but I just kind of say that's how we say it in the Midwest. Hey guys, yo guys, what's up, guys? So that's my Midwest thing. I apologize if you don't like that. Let me know in a personal chat, and I'll try to remove that. But no promises.
I grew up in New Jersey. We say the same thing.
You guys say you guys, right?
Hey guys. Hey guys.
Yeah, cool. Good. Well, no, so couple things I wanted to do today. It is a mastermind. So the more you guys participate, the more you're going to take away from it. And it's not it is really about like being open with this group. You're all in coaching. We're all in one-on-one coaching. So there's things that you're dealing with in your marketplace that somebody else may be dealing with as well. And again, in this format, think of it in a mastermind. Like if you've had an opportunity, say it was a training in an office or an opportunity with an agent, a big team, and it didn't quite go the way you thought, and you wanted some ideas on different ways to suggest things, this would probably be a group just to say, hey, what have you done that's worked? We're going to still probably bring that back to that one-on-one call and figure out what's going to work for you, because there is a lot of people that do a lot of things. We've had some great ideas shared in this group, which is the mastermind part of it, where you guys can share what's working. And I know one of them was just like a coin that was given out that anytime they do an event, they have like a token. And I'm not even sure if he's on the call yet, but they got a token. So, is everybody on this call going to go out and order these tokens with the logo on it and hand it out at every event? Maybe not, So it's just one of those things where you're getting some different ideas and then bringing that to the one-on-one call going, I want to really get an impact out of that. And that's kind of what generated the topic for today. Blowing through 2022, or however I said that, blowing up 2022, blow through 2022. these next 2 months, not only just really about blowing through 2022, I would love to see everybody add a dozen extra sales that they didn't plan on getting, or even just 2 extra sales that you didn't plan on getting, and get those closed by Christmas and make Christmas an amazing Christmas. That would be awesome. I would love to see that happen. However, whether it does happen or doesn't happen, understand that whatever push we put to have extra sales by the end of the year that we didn't plan on having, the more of those that you can pull off, the bigger 2023 January and February is going to be. So you guys all know there's a lag in our business, a 30 to 60 to 90 day lag. What you do right now today, what you do in November and December is probably going to show up in January and February. So the push is really to blow through 2022 to get some extra sales in. And from the coaching side, I love if you like get 2 extra sales before the end of December, fine. Don't count those for January, and don't try to push them back into January so you can have a good January. Take the bonus and then just do 2 more in January. So that's kind of why I was starting with this call today. Having said that, before I even start the conversation and get the ball rolling, is there anything about 2022 or going into 2023 that when I say blow through 2022 or things you're setting up to make 2023 great, is there anything that anybody has that they would love to make sure they took away from the call so that we can make sure that's part of the conversation? A free game here. No? Everything good? I mean, is there anybody that wants that really probably needs to have some extra sales, but just afraid to kind of commit to it because then you'd have to actually have them, right? Anybody could use some extra sales by the end of 2022? Yeah. Okay. And I mean, we'd have to work pretty fast, right? If we were going to pull off some extra sales by 2022. So, okay, I'm just going to start here. I'm going to kind of redefine coaching a little bit, not really redefine it. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but I want you to understand what you're going to get from coaching. There are a ton of ideas I can give anyone. This is just kind of what I see. It's like, all right, we're on a coaching call. So what can I do to get some more business? I can give you a dozen ideas to get more business. However, those dozen ideas, there is not even 2 ideas that I can give you that will get you 10 deals next month in the next 30 days. So there's a lot of ideas out there, and there's more that comes behind the idea than the idea itself. And if you implemented 12 new ideas, if I just rambled off 12 things you can do to get business, you're going to pick up 12 deals over the next 12 months by implementing all 12 ideas. Does that make sense? Right? So you're going to get a deal for every deal that you do. Today's call, what I want to focus on is getting the biggest ROI from everything that you do put in place. So this comes from a lot of your personal one-on-one calls where you've got opportunities. One of them was touring the new homes during a parade of homes, new homes thing on a tour bus. And so they had the captured audience of real estate agents on the bus for a while. We had the token that's going out at the lunch and learns or the happy hours that they're having at breweries. Builder opportunity. So a builder opportunity comes in, or even an in-office, you got the opportunity to move into an office and you've got your office in there. So all of these different things are happening on our one-on-one calls. And the thing that I want you to walk away from today's call with is that anything you ever do from now on, you will know there's like there's stuff that has to happen behind the scenes. There's stuff that happens before that happens. There's stuff that happens after that happens to make sure that you don't just maybe get a deal, but you know you're absolutely going to get 5 deals. So we're going to increase the ROI and we're going to increase the accountability to make sure we capture more of the business from that deal. So the coaching is to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're not just doing it and seeing how it goes, but just changing your mindset to build on that. Let me pause out there and just see if there's anything resonating. Anybody wants to jump in and ask something about that, something you personally been going through, or you've tried and got some good results, but maybe you could have done better. I'll just pause out a couple times in case somebody wants to jump in. Go. All right. How many, let me ask you this, because I don't want to talk for an hour about something you guys don't need. How many of you, everything you've done, you got all and more of the results that you wanted to get from doing it? Give me a thumbs down if you've done everything that you've done, did not get as many results as you wanted, right? We'll do that. Okay. Cool. Then we're going to have a great call today. So, because there's some very specific things where on our one-on-one coaching calls, if somebody has, how many people have an opportunity where you've got a captured audience in an office, you've got a space there in an office? No, just from pictures. Okay. All right. How many of you get training opportunities in a real estate office? And I don't want to just necessarily stick to real estate agents, although I know that's where most of us are stuck at, is the real estate agent relationships versus everything else that's available between accountants, financial planners, all kinds of stuff. There's divorce attorneys, but give me a thumbs up if most of your opportunity you feel is coming from the real estate side. Yeah. Okay. Sideways. Good. Because you guys we actually have had a group call. And if you do not have access to the channel that I created, I've got a playlist for all of you guys that is this group call. When we record it, I'll put it in the playlist for my Movement Mortgage coaching clients. So it's there for you to access. And there is one call in there that we actually have a mastermind call around 100 closed loans without ever talking to a realtor. Each one of you on this call have those at least 100 loans sitting in front of you before you even rely on a realtor to give you one deal. Now, outside of that, with your real estate agents, your financial planners, your CPAs, you have an opportunity to show them where these same 100 deals are sitting. They're sitting right there. Just got off of a coaching call right before this call with a new client. And he was saying that he had, got to find my notes here because didn't have them set up. So he didn't use Facebook. You're not going to like this, but I don't use Facebook. Well, I don't have any judgment one way or the other. If you don't use Facebook, it doesn't mean I like it or don't like it. It means you don't use Facebook. So he had 300 friends on Facebook, right? But he uses Instagram. So on Instagram, he had 500. Right. And I'm not using names because it's all of us. This is all of us. Right. So there's 800 people between Facebook and Instagram. And I'm not going to continue for all of you that have been coaching me for a while. I'm not going to just keep talking about the same thing because I'm going to talk about the same thing forever, but I'm not going to spend the whole call on this. And then in his contacts on his phone, he had 1,010. So we kind of added it up and it's somewhere around 18 to 1,900 people between Instagram, Facebook, and cell phone lists. We haven't even gone to the email yet. I mean, guys, open up your inbox and open up your sent folder. How many people have you received emails from and sent out to people? You're probably going to have a list of 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people in your community that you've crossed paths with over the years. But in this particular case, he had about 2,000. And if we just cut that in half and say there's some duplicates in there, which there's not 50% duplicates, it's 1,000. And if they're moving every 5 years, if the average person moves every 5 years in your community, it's 200 of those people on your Instagram following you, on your Facebook and in your cell phone that you've talked to on the phone. 200 of them are moving every single 12 months, every 12 months for the next 5 years. 100 of them are moving every year for the next 10 years, 100 every year, just from that list. So that's kind of the premise that I want to come at, is when we're talking about ROI and really capitalizing on 2022 and kicking 2023 off, is I hope that you will get how important that is and how many transactions are really happening. And what's really happening is we're just not connected with the 1,000 people or the 2,000 people. And I'm not going to share with you how to connect with 1,000 people at once, because you can find all the coolest email, video programs. We got M3 now with drip plans and journeys. I mean, you can just put all 1,000 people in and turn on a drip plan. You are going to capture some business from that, but not really what you can capture. You won't get 100. There is nothing in my 30-something years of being in the real estate industry, nothing that if I do this one thing, I'll capture 100 deals, except one. And that was doing my 3 to 4 to 5 connections every day and then staying in touch with everybody in the database. That generates 100 sales a year, every year, and did for 20-something years. So in the real estate industry, if you don't know this yet, I still have a real estate team that runs. Right now, there's one person on my team that actively sells, and there's an assistant that's part-time, and I spend 3 days a week with you guys as well, helping you with your businesses for 2 weeks out of the month. And then we do our group call, right? And we close 60 to 70 deals with no monster team. That's just the database running, people calling from the relationships over the last 30 years. So what I know is when we layer this piece in with everything else that we do, all the cool, fun ideas that you're going to have come your way, and you have this piece layered in, you're going to be able to kill it in 2023. So at 5 people a day, I guess, if you made this, if you got that list of those people on one list and you just focused on 5 a day, you can connect with what is 12, 13, 1,400 of those people by December of next year. And if you connect with 1,400 people at 5 a day, your consumers, not just real estate agents, your database, your people that are in your database, your past clients, all that. If we one-on-one 5 a day, every day, 5 days a week, you'll have 1,400 people that you've reconnected with. That will generate 1,400 times 10, moving every 10 years is 140 closed loans. Somewhere between 280 and 140 closed loans is what that would do between now and the end of December next year. So that's why I want to do that. I'm not going to play this video. I mean, last thing I want you to do is show up for a mastermind call and we watch a video for 3 minutes. But go to simpletruths.com. This is actually something really, really simple. Go to simpletruths.com, and if you click on the video tab, you could watch one of these 3-minute videos every single day on whatever topic you think would help you for the day to kind of get you focused, get you motivated, get whatever. I mean, there's happy ones, there's motivational ones, there's sales ones. Just grab one video and start your day out by going to simpletruths.com, watch this free video, and they have all these books and stuff too. But the 212 degrees was about doing that one extra degree, kicking it in to blow out 2022, just doing one extra thing consistently, persistently to turn the water into steam. So watch the 212 degrees video after this. It's all of them are awesome. I actually created an entire business plan once with my real estate team when we had a big team. Our whole day was spent watching a video, and then we talked about how we applied that to our business. And that was like a 5-hour, 6-hour day. And we created our whole entire business plan around being better at all those things. So it's really, really cool. All right, pause out again, see if there's any questions. If something's kind of churning a little bit that you would like to make sure you get away from today's call.
Where do we find the link for the old recordings?
I will send that out with the recording of this one. So you'll get the recording of this one. Now, is anybody, maybe somebody can answer this. If you've clicked on and watched some of the past group calls, does it take you to my playlist, or does it just take you to that one video and you can't get back to the playlist? Does anybody know the answer to that? All right, cool. So what I'll do is I'll put the link, I'll go to the playlist and put that link in with the recording of this video. Sound good, Nate?
Mm-hmm.
Good question. All right, cool. Okay, anything else before I jump into a couple things that I want to hit on as far as just killing it for 2022? Or what do you guys think needs to happen? What could possibly happen between now and December that you would consider it kicking it in for 2022? Anybody doing anything or know you should be doing something?
I'm doing a lot more hard press videos, social media videos, reels. Trying to post at least 3 a week because I'd slacked off on that for a while because we were busy and I didn't need to do videos, but I'm back at it.
Yep. So how many people actually want to do more videos or think you should be doing more videos? And this would probably be the time of year to do more. Okay, I see lots of hands. So one of the suggestions that I just did in my own business too, because here's the other thing. When I coach with you guys and we come up with a really good idea and I haven't done it, I go do it. I'm the implementer. And one of the things that I did with a video, so how many of you know there are some good videos on the Movement Mortgage website that you really like and would love to do something with that, right? So if there's topics on there, we had one come out from our Kansas City Regional Association of Realtors, and they do a really nice video. It's probably about 6 minutes long, 5 minutes long about the market. And what I did was I watched it, and it's all these market stats, and they go through things pretty quick. Well, what I did was I just took that video and chopped it up into 5 pieces. And at the end of each topic, the interest rates have gone up, and that's slowed down the buyer, blah, 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 right? The prices of homes have started readjusting. That was one of the topics. So they were just talking about different topics. All I did was take that video, slice it up, and added a breakdown. And it went, da-da-da, the breakdown. And I went, all right, so what this really means in the Kansas City market is, and I just talked for like a minute on what they just talked about. And I literally just, with my phone, recorded myself, watched that clip, paused it, said what it really meant to the general public. And then I just had that spliced together into a video that now was about 9 minutes long. But because it was 5 topics, I was able to take each topic and slice it out. So one topic was on interest rate. One topic was on price of homes. One topic was on supply and demand. One topic was on something else. So what I did was I have the full video on YouTube, and I took those 5 slices and I put one of them on Facebook and said, for the full video or full report, click here. And it took them to YouTube where the full video was sitting. And I put one on LinkedIn and I put one on Instagram. I figured out how to get one of them on TikTok. I mean, it's just 5 ways to get some more business and threw them all out there. Whether or not that drives traffic to that video and people actually watch it, I really don't care. I spent about 30 minutes putting the video together and I got 6 different exposures on it. Does that make sense? So there, again, if I had any secret video that you could post today and get a loan closed in the next 30 days, I would give it to you. There isn't one. But I will say that what Anna is saying, though, is when you get consistent and persistent, you're going to get more attention. Now, let me just grab on this video one more thing, because this actually came out of one of the conversations on a coaching call this week. That don't worry about how fancy the video is. I've got to wait till I get all this equipment before I can make my videos. Listen, you can spend all the time getting the right camera, the right lighting, the right microphone, get everything in place to shoot your video. And when you post your first video, you're going to have one person see it. When you post your second video, you're going to have hopefully 1 or 2 or 3 people see it. When you post your next video, you're going to hope you get 3 or 4 people to see it. So there, all that waiting, you can be posting crap right now that's not super professional to get your 1 or 2 or 3 people and get that following going. But it might be a year before you have 1,000 people like tuning into your video. So you have plenty of time to perfect the lighting, perfect the microphone. And here's what I can promise you is there's not going to be 1,000 people that are going to see how poorly shot your video was. There's not going to be 1,000 people. Okay. You're not going to have 1,000 hits. You'll see my video and you'll see I don't even know how many people are on there right now. It was like 1 the other day or 2. So you don't have a big following yet. You haven't created a brand yet. So start talking and be you. Create value behind the people that are doing it. And how you'll know you're making a great video is 2 or 3 or 4 people start sharing it and reposting it in different places. So until they do that, I mean, it really doesn't matter. You're just posting for exposure to be consistent, persistent, and out there. Does that make sense? Sometimes
Yeah,
you
it
go,
does.
yeah, go ahead.
I am curious, what platform did you find you had the most response or engagement in with your Kansas one?
Can I be honest?
Yeah, of course.
Didn't look and don't care.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I mean, I know that's not the answer you wanted. It's just getting it out there and seeing what grabs on. Now, I'm going to throw one other thing in there. So just throwing the videos out there and seeing what happens really isn't where the traffic and which one's going to get the best results anyway, and the best views and the best followers. It's going to be what I do behind that to promote, to drive people to go check it out. I hope you hear that part, because one of the things that this call today will hopefully spur conversation around is that we do a video and throw it out there and kind of see what happens. I mean, and I say see what happens lightly, but we're doing it because we really want to get business from it, and we want to get a following and do all that. But that by itself will not do anything. Now, if I take $100,000 and I take out ads in magazines that say, hey, you got to check out this video, and I send postcards out to 1,000 homes that say, you got to check out this video, and I make 1,000 phone calls and say, hey, go right now to this link and play this video. Without that, there's not really traffic being attracted to it. Does that make sense? So it is everything I want you to take out of today's call is, what am I doing beyond the thing to make sure I get a bigger ROI on whatever I am doing? Because you're going to get some kind of result from either no result and no deals to a deal or two on everything you do between now and the end of the year, everything that you did this last year, and everything that you're going to do in 2023. What I want to do is let's figure out what the opportunity really is. And I'll talk about that more in a second, but how many deals are really in this opportunity, and how can I be on purpose to get more than just that one deal? That was 0 deal, 1 deal, 2 deals. So no matter what you've done, no matter how successful it was, hey, I did this one happy hour and I ended up getting 5 closed transactions from it. See, that's awesome. However, I bet if we peeled that apart and looked at how you got the 5, there probably was 20 or 30 opportunities there. And whatever it was about that event got you 5 of them. Does that make sense? Because then you guys don't have to work so hard all the time trying to find the next thing that's going to be the next big deal. So I don't want to downplay any of the cool stuff that you're doing, but I want you to think on purpose. Now, what do I do with this to drive more and get more ROI out of it? Does that make sense? Cool. Any questions? I mean, that was great. Thank you for sharing that, Karen, because that is a great question. Honestly, I have more followers on Facebook. I mean, I've got several business pages. I got YouTube subscribers, but I don't have like 1,000 YouTube subscribers. I don't even have 1,000 people follow me on TikTok. I'm just putting it everywhere. And we had one other call where we talked about all those different places that you do put something. Make sure you're driving them back to the one place where it gives them the most information and you capture their information, so that these things are the teasers. And then if they click on it and watch that short 1-minute video clip and they're like, ooh, what's the rest of the report? And they click through to that. It says, if you'd like to know the report on your particular house, click here. And they're going to give me their information. That's ultimately what all those were for in the first place. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I have another question, and maybe the group can share what they're doing. I am just now beginning to make new connections with the agents and want to follow up intentionally with things of value. And I'm locked up in my head because I don't want to just, obviously I'm not going to ask for business because I'm grooming the relationship first and trying to get to know them. And I don't know why I can't have that creativity of where do I go and find something of value to give to them? What are some ideas that people are doing other than a handwritten card,
Yeah. So anybody have anything that you think is working really well, or that you've been tracking and it's working really well that they find valuable? Yeah, go ahead, Nate.
I haven't done it yet, but I want to try it. So last night at like, I won't try it at 8 p.m., but somebody called me at 8 p.m. that I hadn't talked to since 2019. And this guy was trying to recruit me to do some sort of business, but he called just to kind of catch up, you know, this whole post COVID thing, like everybody was so busy doing this, that, and the other. And so now that things have cooled off, I think it might be a good opportunity just to call your database and I would just kind of come out with it that way. Just say, hey, finally coming up for air. How are things with you? What's going on? Let's catch up on like life and see, you know, like what's up with their kids, what's up with, you know, school or whatever. And just like try to take it, like dial it back and not talk about business and try to approach it that way. It's kind of my thought.
One of the things that I had done, I had gone to a broker open, and we had kind of shared, we noticed that there was this gorgeous, you know, sunset in the back of the house and stuff. So we actually took some pictures. So I did a follow-up note and I sent a copy of printed out the picture that I took, you know, this was fabulous. And I've done some follow-up calls. I'm not getting return calls or the phone calls being picked up. But it's a matter, I think, of just continuing to call and say, hey, how are you doing? When you're leaving messages or a text message or a note card, it's just a matter of being there. One of the things that I did recognize is who's on WhatsApp. Okay. Has anybody actually looked at WhatsApp and their realtors on WhatsApp? So
as far as like it shows their bio or more information about them?
No, what they're doing, realtors, and even past clients of mine are on WhatsApp, and I'm seeing them doing storylines just like on Facebook. They're doing stories. There's one realtor that I worked really hard trying to connect to him, and he said, look, I'm not interested in your services. You know, I already have lenders that I'm working with. And I said, okay, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to reach back out to you every 2 to 3 months just to see how you're doing. But in WhatsApp, sometimes it gets a little too lengthy because you know how storylines in Facebook, you have like segments and you can hit segment 1, they're doing one thing, segment 2. Well, this dude's got like 30 segments. So they're all little dots and you're trying to get to one part and trying to see things. But what he does as a realtor, he literally hits the streets. He has his nickname is Easy, you know, buy a home with Easy Homes, right? So basically he goes out on the streets. He says, hold my card, and he's videotaping. I did connect with him. He had posted on there a plant-based burger joint in Silver Spring. We started connecting through, you know, WhatsApp on that. So I'm noticing WhatsApp as another point of contact. It's not as inundated like Facebook, right? You get overwhelmed. We've connected with so many people and you really see what people are doing. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, WhatsApp is used when you're talking to different people of different cultures, right? Because it's a way for them to connect to the other side of the world, to family, friends, and stuff like that. It's an easier connection. It's no disruption in their communications, but try that because I'm seeing that a lot. And if I can connect, like I have a past client, she's right now in Ghana, and she's studying legal. She's an attorney and she's studying legal for about 9 months, but she has contacts here. And she will be coming back and forth from Ghana here. And she's got a couple different businesses going. So if I can reconnect in a different manner that way and see their personal life in a much more shorter form than what we would see in Facebook, that I've seen that my connections are better that way than Facebook alone.
Great
I
feedback. Thank
want to piggyback on that. I have a lot of friends overseas with WhatsApp, and I was shocked how many people watched a story if I posted it on WhatsApp. People that came out of the woodwork that never would have seen my Instagram or my Facebook. And I totally agree with what you just said. And you can also post links to your posts from Instagram. So if you do a reel on Instagram, you can post it to your WhatsApp story to try to drive traffic to your Instagram as well.
Yeah, I see a lot of new clients, past clients, and realtors on WhatsApp.
So I hope everybody wrote down WhatsApp. I need to go post a story and start a storyline and see what it looks like. So there's another avenue. Now I'll answer that question even a little more direct. If you really truly want to know what topic that you could, whether it's a video, post on, send out, talk about, I mean, you guys want the real, like the real topic that will get their attention, go into your text message and pull up every realtor that you've text messaged their answer to a question about. Go into your sent folder and every email that you sent back to a realtor that they asked about. Hey, what's the deal on this appraisal? You know, how do we handle if the appraisal's low? Or what was this fee for? The realtors are already asking you questions, and the ones that you hear the most should be a video or post or everywhere else and every other medium that you can think of. Does that make sense? It's all in our sent folder. It's actually in our receipt, in our inbox and our sent folder and in your text messages. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it, and this is going to be my challenge to you to really blow out 2022. And this has showed up as an assignment for several of you in our one-on-one calls. But if you were to make a list of the people that you get your business from, so if we're talking about real estate agents right now, so if you don't get any of your business from real estate agents, hang on, I'll answer that too. Make a list of all the realtors that you feel you have the best relationship with, that you should be getting business with. And now what I want you to do is this week, go into Zillow, realtor.com, or get it from your market leader, the agent productivity report for the last 12 months, and write down how many transactions those real estate agents have done in the last 12 months. Yep.
Have
there
it.
you go. All right. And now here's the next part though. So what is my opportunity? The opportunity is how many deals did they do? The ROI that you're currently at is how many did you get? And this might be a disheartening number. And I don't know if Anna wants to share it, but a disheartening number on how many deals they did and how many you got. And it's just
Yeah, I mean,
real. Go ahead. Yeah.
It's a little bit like me.
It's
Makes you
painful.
feel a little shitty.
So, and then that helps you refocus now to go, okay, I need to increase my ROI and take advantage of these opportunities. And let's just say if they did 20 deals, 10 of them are purchases and you got 2 or 3. Where are the other 7? And what would my plan be for this year to connect with that agent better, that I would get 4 or 5 or 6 deals versus just the 2 that happen to fall out of the sky because you happen to be in the right place at the right time, or you just posted a video. Because this is the reality in the real estate agent world. Well, actually, and this is in the consumer world too. The reality is that of all those things that we were doing when we talked about it at the very beginning of the call, when that works, it's only because the agent's phone rang, or they had one of these companies like put them live with a buyer on the phone. The person was actually on the phone and they actually started giving them their name, their address, their life story, and they're ready to buy. And so the agents, I'm telling you what the agents are doing on this side, and this is pretty much 99% of them, are going, I got a live one, What do I need to do? What do I do next? And it's like, the next thing you got to do is get them approved. So where that loan ends up going is whoever has been top of mind, or where the last deal went. And I'm telling you, on the real estate agent side of the world, they don't even realize that they didn't send it to you, because they just met you like 2 weeks ago and it was awesome and you were fun. We were at the brewery, we had a blast. But it's like, where did I send the last person to? Their brain is top of mind. It's going to go to what they've just been doing in the past. And doing what they've been doing in the past, and they forgot about you. So this is why it's so important on this timeline that you hit them 8 times in 8 weeks with an email, then something in the mail, then a text message, then a phone call. And over an 8-week period, if that happens with any of your real estate agents, 8 weeks, wait, how many months is 8 weeks? just for math purposes? 2 months, right? So you're probably, would you say that 60 to 70% of the real estate agents that are on your list are probably talking to a buyer sometime in the next 2 months, right? 60, 70, 80% of them will get a live one in the next couple of months if you just met them and they're on your list, okay? So even though the average realtor is only selling 4 to 6 homes a year, and that's where we'll see that number pan out. In fact, Anna, I want to see, like, I could break down my prediction of what I think your list is, and I'd love to see how it matches up. So we'll do that on a different call. But I can tell you 50% of them have done 0 to 3 deals all year long. This is like if you had the roster of the board. So I'm going to imagine that if your list of realtors that you have relationships with, it's still going to pan out. But if it's 10 people, I mean, 5 of them have done 3 deals all year long, but that's 15 transactions. So there's a lot more opportunity no matter how big your list is. So the point is that you have to be top of mind when that live fish comes in, because they're not even thinking. They're just reacting in freak out mode. Like, I got to capture this somehow because I need a deal really, really bad. So that's why we talk about top of mind so much, and just to hit them from all these different mediums. So that's why it's Facebook and LinkedIn and WhatsApp and all of these things, right?
So can I say something?
Yes,
There were two things. Number one, look at your AMA, your best year ever for realtors. We're coming up at the end of the year. The realtors are really struggling themselves, trying to get a hold on, their business, trying to get more leads, things like that. And I think just like we do, we kind of get away from the basics of it's numbers. It's all in numbers. And I think if doing that kind of AMA towards the end of this year to help them kind of refocus back on the basics of how do you get to your ROI, or do you want to represent your sellers or buyers? How do you want to do that? Divvy it up 50-50, how do you want to do that? And then what is your next call to action to getting that done? And the AMA really gives calculation breakdown. I've done this class a couple of times before COVID, that it really is an eye opener. Now, some realtors will say, well, I already do that or whatever. But for your newbies or people that have been in the business maybe 3 to 5 years, it kind of helps them and solidifies to help their business. That's number one. Number two, I was actually at an association, did a chili cook-off at HCAR yesterday. Had a lot of people there, and we got in a conversation. It was a realtor, a listing agent, and an appraiser. And one of the things that this appraiser is doing, because we talk about the discrimination, disparities, and all that stuff regarding appraisals, that appraisers have a different perspective on how they have to do things. And that is a really good class that I think everybody needs to take on how an appraiser appraises or comes up with a value on a property. Because a lot of times you might have an appraisal that's done and the listing agent says, well, I don't understand, he came in $10,000 less. And the question is, well, listing agent, were you there at the property? Did you try to have a conversation with the appraiser? What is that conversation or the comps that you provided to them? If not, then the appraiser is kind of going in and doing their own job. But it's also educating the realtors regarding appraisals and how they work, especially now that we're kind of slightly turning downward in values, or steadily, depending on where you're at in location. The values are either more steady, you're not really seeing the escalations that we were, but it's a conversation starter that realtors can take a class, maybe a CE class in your association, get an appraiser involved. You take that class, and now you've got a connection. This is one route that I'm going, and now you've got a connection with the realtors that have sat in that class, and you have a conversation.
Yeah.
And it's education that you can teach other people moving forward as you meet new realtors.
It really is everything that they're doing out there. If you become that source, and for your own self too, right? If you have your list of realtors and you figured out what their transactions are. And these are the people that you now know what the gap is. It's not to call them and say, hey, why did I miss out on 6 of your last, 12 buyer sides or whatever? The question is to call them and say, how is your business going? What are you struggling with? What are you working on? What do you want it to look like? And creating that relationship to where you're the one that's sitting there. Like if they say, I need to capitalize more, like I've had 2 short appraisals, and this information is available to you and you've seen that AMA class, and it's there, oh, by the way, will you throw that link to where they could find that in the chat box? If you can pull up where those AMAs are, just for the people that may not know how to find them. But it's talking to them about what can be done better. How much more business do you want? I'll throw another idea out there on top of that one, is open houses. I know there's a lot of you that are going around to open houses. So asking them, what was the success of the open house? How many actual buyers did you get from the open house, and how many of them have you closed? Man, if you ask that question and you track it, do you know most agents are doing open houses and closing no deals from them whatsoever? And they're giving up 3 to 4 hours of their weekend doing open houses. It's like, what could you do? What's the thing around the event to get the most traffic possible? I personally did open houses 2 weeks out of the last 3 weekends. I will not do an open house if I cannot have the signs up on Monday, and I'll usually put up a minimum of 10 open house arrows from every busy street 1 week before the open house on Monday. If I'm going to do it on Sunday, I do it on Sunday if I'm going to hold it on Saturday, and I will put them everywhere. And I don't care if the city picks them up, throws them away, whatever. If I drive by and one of them's gone, I'll throw another one up. And it's about going in and putting them on every single website that you can possibly advertise them on. Do you know how many agents do open houses and do not fill in the open house slot in MLS? So you don't even have to know their business very well. But if you even know for a second, like, hey, I know there's websites out there you can post your open house on to get more traffic, right? So did you do that? Oh, here's a list of 12 that you can list your next open house on and get more people. If you're the loan officer that gives me something that simple and I do it and I get more people or get one buyer from it, you're going to eventually own that agent's business. So it is helping them do everything better. It's having this exact same conversation. How are you going to do that better? How are you going to do everything that you do a little better and capture more ROI from it, right? All right, who's getting some good ideas that you want to share? Maybe an aha or an idea you might be taking away so far. Yeah,
I'll just share real quick that, the other, I think on the video front, we tend to put that off a lot. And the other night we just sat down and we knocked out 3 videos. One to put on the story about the Monday mortgage tip that goes out. So that's something that we, have wanted to do for a long time. Just me sitting down going, hey, hope everybody saw the Monday mortgage tip. Here's just a quick note about it. I posted it on my story. It took me like a half hour to get all the links and everything in there. So Coach, to your point, just making sure that there's a link to drive them back to like your contact information and all that good stuff, and figuring out too on Instagram how to, show a little post or a picture of the post. So, it's all a learning curve, for a lot of us, but you're right. It doesn't matter. I put a fun little filter on it and, it was all good, but, really we pay for HomeBot, and we thought that we would have more leads out of HomeBot, and we really haven't been able to capture those. And so, we get some inquiries, we get people adding homes, we get, all sorts of little questions and stuff, but the conversion rate on HomeBot this last year has been. So what we decided to do over the next 60 days is really take a deeper dive into that, because obviously we're paying a lot of money for it on the monthly. So how do we, really reach everybody and then be able to quantify that? And so we recorded a video. We're cleaning up. I have 500 people in there. So we're cleaning up those contacts for the ones that have been active, the ones who have been engaged. And taking that to the next level by setting out a quick video And you can't just send it out to one video, guys. You got to send it out, I guess, to the whole, all of your contacts in there. But we'll give an update on what that turns out to be as far as the capture rate, because it's just a little video. I got it down to 18 seconds saying, hey, thanks so much for using HomeBot. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Just as a reminder, we know it's a crazy market, but if you have any questions about refinances or purchases, give me a call. Thanks so much. I'll be in touch. And then we're going to start doing annual reviews out of that as well. So, you know, just trying to use the video. It doesn't have to be perfect, literally 15 seconds. People have short attention spans. I haven't been doing videos about the market, you know, all that stuff, but sharing a lot. I think it's just really important to have that personal touch out there. So we'll report back. But yeah, we were able to record those 3, by the way.
Sorry.
It doesn't take, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be pretty. You can doctor it up. And that's what's taking a little time, just to find the right resources to do that. But my gosh, you send it out, it feels like, oh my gosh, that was such a huge accomplishment. So plus people want to see our faces.
I'm so glad you shared this, because I want to really anchor the whole point of this conversation today and where we started. So first of all, in your market right now, how often would you say most realtors would say, or that you would say, that everybody's moving? 5 years, 7 years, 10 years? What have you heard?
I mean, because of the market change, I would say probably 4 or 5.
4 to 5. Okay.
Somewhere
So
in
guys,
there.
listen, let me talk about opportunity and let me talk about ROI. Okay. Because you just heard her say what the ROI is on HomeBot. And there's a lot of people talking good stuff about HomeBot.
Great.
If you have like a newsletter that goes out or something, and it's like, listen, this thing shows me the click-through rate and it shows me the read rate. And then I go, and what was the closed check in my account rate? Right. So listen to this. So for real, these numbers, and these aren't just your numbers, they're anybody's numbers. She's got 500 people in HomeBot, right? If they are moving every 4 to 5 years, so 500 divided, I'm just going to go 100 people. There's actually 100 of those 500 people in HomeBot right now that will be moving in the next 12 months. That's a scary number, but it's a very, it can't not be this number. If we said it was every 10 years, it's still 50 of them are moving in the next 12 months, right? So let's just take the 100 and divide by 12. And I'm going to break this down a little bit more. So when I started this call out, how many of you could use an extra sale or 2 by December? Do you remember what I said before that? What if you could close a dozen more deals between now and December? Oh, but that's so unrealistic. From HomeBot, from this particular example, there's at least 16 transactions that will absolutely happen out of those 500 people in the next 2 months. 16, that's 8 per month. Oh, my phone went away. 8.3 per month out of those 500 if the market's moving every 5 years. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So there's actually 16 transactions, but here's what would have to happen. I would have to call personally all 500 of them as soon as possible, like in the next day or two, because out of those 500 and out of the 100 that are moving, only 8 know they're one of the 100 moving in the next 12 months right now. Now there's going to be 8 more that know they're one of the 100 next month, but they don't know they're one of the 100 this month. So I have to actually call all 500 again next month to make sure I find the next 8, right? So, but if I did this poorly and I didn't really do it the right way, I still could capture 2 or 3 each month of those 8 per month. Does that make sense? So this is what I want you to, if I get you to walk away from anything from this call today, it's like, every single thing you do, if you just divide the number of opportunities by moving every 5 years and what that is, it's like, holy smokes, I am missing business left and right. And we still are capturing a deal or 2. But if you're going to do the effort of it in the first place, you might as well capitalize on the ROI and get the most deals, because then you don't have to work as hard to find more deals. Secondly, you get to enjoy your life a little bit more because you're really just staying in touch with people. And the third thing, what it does is it reverses everything in your whole world to where you're not having to go find business anymore. It's actually coming to you. And I'll say this excitedly. It's going to come back at you faster than you can handle it. And I hope it does, because then that's a different problem that we get to talk about on a coaching call, is how to handle the business. And literally, if all 8 deals came back at you right now this month and you didn't have the system in place to handle it and stay in touch with them, you're still going to capture 2 or 3 by accident, and you might lose 3 or 4. But then next month, you can make sure you capture 1 or 2 more of those, and the 1 or 2 after that. And then you have this crazy business that's just like, I know January 1st is President's Club every year. I know January 1st, it's Change Makers every single year, because I've got these 1,400, 1,500 relationships that I did over the last 12 months at 5 a day that my phone's just ringing. Does that make sense? So I'm going to just grab onto that. Whatever one thing that you're doing, whether it's HomeBot, whether it's video, whether it's whatever, what are the 6 or 7 or 8 things around that one thing that if you were to mix up the mediums about that one thing and hit everybody with it over the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? And I hit them 6 or 7, 8 times around that one thing, you're going to increase your chance to capture those 8, some of those 8. So HomeBot's one thing. So now how do I make that into a video that I can put on Facebook or WhatsApp? How do I use it in the WhatsApp story? What would I drop in the mail to get them to go make sure they pull up HomeBot and look at the report? And what would I send them or do to get them to tell me, oh my gosh, that information was awesome and we're ready. We're thinking about doing something. So it's their 6, 7, 8 touches. And then I'll come back to what everybody has said from the beginning, is it's doing it all the time consistently. You know, when we heard that one idea, I can't remember if it was Anna or who that said, you thought you were going to get the one thing that you need to do. And she really said, you just got to stay in front of them all the time and just always be there. That was the actual answer. So the timeline, follow-up timeline group call that we did is a really good one to probably listen to 6, 7, 8 times and keep pulling out your main points that you're getting from that. Because if you create a timeline around everything you do, you will increase your ROI and your close rate. Does that make sense? So even Karen, with all these videos, what 6, 7, 8 other mediums can I use to promote them to go back and see the video, or to find the video, or do whatever, or to call me and go, oh my gosh, I've been looking for that video. Where is it? I want to watch it. Like, what can you do in the message to get somebody to call you and say, put me on HomeBot, put me on your video list, right? So just think about that as you're doing anything that you're working on. Get a bigger ROI. All right, so before we finish up, any last comments, questions, ideas? I want to share a couple quick things, guys. If you haven't done this yet or not, the business planning clinic, we got 3 dates set for the clinic. Does everybody have this email? If not, I'm going to attach it to the video replay of this. There's 3 different dates that they're doing business plan. It's an hour and a half, and it's with Kevin McGovern, head of the coaching. He came over from Fairway, created a whole entire coaching department over there. Movement got him, and he's going to be doing business plan. And I think several of the coaches may be popping in or out. So this is an hour and a half long, formal business planning worksheet to plan out 2023. Let me see here. What do I got? The other thing, power of 3. If you guys are not doing this yet, and you don't go to Coach Simple enough, or you don't go there often, there's a way to track these things, these activities. Let me pull it up here and show you. The power of 3, it actually is tracking every single week, and Movement is giving away prizes to the top ones. You'll see how many points you got. The point system actually is based on I just pulled up Michael Morrison. So this guy's a change maker. All right, he is, let me back up here for a second. Michael Morrison, by the way, if you, he is the nicest guy ever. And I know there's a lot of LOs that have even called him just to ask some questions. He will make the time of day for you. And this guy's like over 75 million or something, but he's in the top here with 112 points. And so I pulled up just to show you in this, these are the different things that they track. So whether you make a prospecting call, social media post, so start posting every single week what you're doing, because this is till the end of the year, till December 31st. And they're giving away stuff every week. But guys, I'll tell you what sounds good is if you're on this list and you can show that, if you have the opportunity to show that to a realtor, that you're somebody who returns calls and makes calls and prospects and does all that stuff, then maybe you can help them grow their business, right? But there's different points for all these different things. If you're doing any kind of class that you get 5 people to show up, you get 5 points. If you did a class where 10 people showed up, or you did a happy hour, you did an event where 10 people showed up, you get 10 points. So, but you got to track it every single day throughout the week so that they can get those points up there and it gets you on the point system. See, I think that was the main thing. Those are the main things I want to show you, that these are the activities that will get you your business going between now and the end of the year and also crank up 2023. All right. Any questions about anything? Any last comments before we end the call? We're right there.
You're emailing us that link, Coach, with the business
Yes.
planning stuff. Awesome. That
Yep,
would be
you'll have,
appreciated.
in fact, if you search Coach Korn, you'll already have the links to the business plan. There was one where I said save the date for today's call. I put the links to business plan in there and all that as well. But I am going to send it out with the recording so that you have that as well. So, all right. So what are you guys taking away from today? Somebody share a couple ideas that you're taking away from today.
The WhatsApp thing was a good idea.
Yep. Absolutely. The AMA.
I like
Who
the
else?
idea of posting on how, to get more people engaged with HomeBot, get new people. And HomeBot is doing a class tomorrow, aren't they? Isn't it tomorrow? They're doing a marketing thing tomorrow, I think. Let me look at my email.
Yes. I think is that the M3 one or a marketing one? There is one coming up on M3 on campaigns and action plans too. I'm not sure if it's this week or next week.
I think a takeaway is just do more of what you haven't done before and watch your business grow just by doing something.
And then I'll add and put 6 or 7 other things with everything that you do, going back to the thing that you did. They won't have to find as many things that way.
I gotta run, guys.
Yeah. See ya. All right, guys, was this a good call? How many of you actually might be able to do an extra deal or two that you didn't think you were going to get this year?
I think so.
All right. So we got a couple. That's good. The rest of you, you'll come along, watch this video again when you get the link, and maybe we'll get you to get that 1 or 2 extra deals that you wouldn't have had. And if you actually help a realtor do it, so first of all, it's probably in your database, your Facebook list or your cell phone list alone. But if you help another real estate agent do the same thing, you're not going to own their business yet. But if you do that again and again and again, you will eventually own their business, because you're the only person that's going to show up more than once and help them grow their business. So good call today, guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you found value in it. And I'd love to hear, just keep sending me your success stories, what you're doing and how it's working for you. All right. Well, I'll send you that link in a little bit.
Thank you.
you.